All right, fellas, what's happening? A couple minutes late, as per usual. Danny had a rough night out for Halloween. I'm old, so I fell asleep at 9 p.m. instead of going out. And I have a casserole that I was supposed to bring to a Halloween party sitting in my fridge. And I'm flying to Mexico in like 12 hours. So I'm going to bring it to my parents' house because I'm not going to be able to eat it. So I
Oh,
was literally supposed to bring it to the party yesterday. And we fell asleep after the Guelph market or whatever that we were at because it was freezing outside and it took all of our energy not to like freeze to death. So it tuckered us out pretty nicely. But anyways,
I got home pretty late. I was out drinking, had a good night, whatever. Fell asleep on the couch because that's what always apparently happens a night where you go out and stuff. Woke up this morning and I'm like, oh God, I need like 2 hours to recover. Made a tea, freaking got it out of my system. Now we're ready to go. We're feeling a lot better. And again, I'm not sick this time. I know
yeah,
people
there we
said
go.
last
Yeah,
time.
somebody's Jared's gonna get in the chat and feel better, Danny, or whatever.
no, but like last time, people were like, "Danny's just hungover." When I was legit sick last time. This time, I'm not even gonna say that I'm sick. I know exactly why I feel the way I do.
Yeah, it's your own. It's definitely your own fault this time for sure.
Yes,
So,
yes.
as always, let's kick things off with our locks of the week, underdog picks of the week, going nuts picks of the week, safe play of the week. So let's get it going here with the locks of the week. Mine is the Falcons -2.5 against the Tennessee Titans. Will Levis is starting at quarterback for Tennessee. That's pretty much my rationale. I didn't think Will Levis was ready to play in the NFL, and I don't think he's going to suddenly pop off against what I consider to be a pretty good defense,
Good
in the Atlanta
defense.
Falcons. So I know it's on the road. They're getting 2.5 because it's on the road, but like Vegas suggesting that this is a neutral site, even game. I don't think so. I think the Falcons are a much better team. If we get a decent Desmond Ridder game, which I think we will, because Tennessee's not very good against the pass and they just traded their best fucking safety. Give me the Falcons -2.5. I would be willing to tease this. If you guys are looking for like a plus bet or whatever, and you wanted to tease this all the way to like 5.5 for the Falcons or something, I wouldn't hate that. I think they could really stomp them this game.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, you mentioned it would be a pick 'em, but they're on the road in 2.5 favorites, so it would actually be 5.5. And then
Right. Sorry,
neutral,
yeah,
but
that's what I
no,
meant.
you're chilling. But either way, though, going on to my lock of the week, if I can find the graphic for it there, my lock of the week is going to be the Jacksonville Jaguars -2.5 at the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the rationale here is that the Pittsburgh Steelers aren't a very good football team. The Jacksonville Jaguars are. Jacksonville Jaguars are 5-2. The Jacksonville Jaguars have a top 5 defense in terms of defensive DVOA this year. Obviously, we know from the Pittsburgh perspective, yes, Deontay Johnson is back, but they still have a lot of problems on the offensive perspective. And unless they score a defensive touchdown or two, I don't see them hanging within 3 points of the Jaguars, aka making Jaguars -2.5 my lock.
Yeah, that's a fair takeaway there as well. I think that's a spread that probably is a little bit sketchy, considering how fraudulent it feels like the Pittsburgh Steelers have been. Although they did, take the Rams down to the wire and that kind of thing. But I'll go right into my my underdog pick of the week here. I got the Cincinnati money line against the San Francisco 49ers. So they're 4-point underdogs right now on the road against San Fran. Brock Purdy's coming off of 2 kind of rough games. I'm not sure if that's going to continue or not. I think they'll be able to bounce back on offense, but really the fuel for this is that Joe Burrow should be healthy after a bye week. And I think that the Bengals offense can really put up some points in this game. We saw what Cousins did to them last Monday night. This defense is exploitable. And I think that Joe Burrow and company will take advantage of that. So, fire up your Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow triple stacks if you guys are playing DFS this week.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I talked about it in the wide receiver show, but when it comes to San Francisco's defense, do not get me wrong. They are a very, very good defense. They're like a top 6 overall defense in terms of defensive DVOA. But the one spot you can beat the San Francisco 49ers is by throwing the football outside of the numbers. And one of the teams that are able to do that is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals. So if there's one blueprint, one team that has the strength to be able to attack the Niners' weakness on defense, it would be that Cincinnati offense. So I really like that pick. My underdog pick of the week, as I find the logo, is going to be the Cleveland Browns traveling all on the road to play the Seattle Seahawks. I like their money line in this game, and I understand the implications in this one. Deshaun Watson is out. The backup quarterback is in. PJ Walker's playing in this game. And don't get me wrong, the Seahawks are a very good team in their own right. I just believe this much in that Cleveland Browns defense. And I understand people might say, well, the Colts put up 38 points. Yeah, but the Browns defense stopped them and scored for themselves when it mattered most in that game. All year, they've been the best defense in the NFL. They are number one in defensive DVOA across the board. They got 2 lockdown corners so far this year. Obviously, the pass rush headlined by arguably the best defensive player in football right now with Myles Garrett. I think if the season ended today, he would be my defensive player of the year. I trust them, man. Like, in defense travels, man. That's the one thing you notice is the better offenses in the league. Like, they'll be prone to bad games on the road in mucky situations. You know that Cleveland Browns defense, no matter what, will show up to play in this game, knowing that PJ Walker's on the other side and knowing that they have to in order to position themselves for a playoff spot in a competitive AFC. I think they get it done.
Yeah, and honestly, like, I know Jerome Ford is probably not going to be, ready for this game, but I actually think the Pierre Strong, Kareem Hunt backfield should be able to get some stuff done on the ground. Strong's the, explosive back. Kareem Hunt's kind of the veteran, kind of knows what he's doing at this point. Definitely makes some sense there. Of course, check out Underdog Fantasy if you guys want to do some pick'ems today. We'll maybe build a pick'em slip at the end of this stream or whatever. And of course, new customers use promo code FSE for 100% back. And also you'll get a free bonus pick'em, like half yard special. I can look up exactly who that is on this week. Let's move on to our Going Nuts pick of the week here. So presented by Manscaped again. Now the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is out right now, and you guys definitely want to have that around with, Christmas coming kind of around the corner. You want to get ahead on your Christmas shopping. Definitely check that out. My Going Nuts player of the week this week, really gutty. If I don't get a 3-pointer for this one, I think this is a mistake on your guys' part, but I'm going with Dameon Pierce of the Houston Texans. I think this is going to be CJ Stroud's offensive rookie of the year game, staple game. He's going to go up against the team that passed on him at first overall. He's going to drop a nuke on them. Tank Dell's back for this game. Dalton Schultz has kind of been worked in now. While Tank Dell is out, we saw that. Of course, Nico Collins has been doing his thing all year. And I think as a result of that, Dameon Pierce is going to go back to his regular usage. Prior to the bye week, he had a 35% snap share. We didn't really know what that was all about. But before that, in week 4 and week 5, we saw him trending in a positive direction. He was like 59% of the snaps in 2 straight games. Carolina's defense against the run is the worst in the NFL, bar none right now. And if Dameon Pierce has the opportunity to get 15, 20 carries in this game, which I think he will be able to because CJ Stroud's going to be able to put up points, then we have the opportunity for Dameon Pierce to break a long one. We have the opportunity for him to punch in a touchdown or two, maybe catch some passes here and there. So Dameon Pierce is my Going Nuts pick of the week. 20 plus PPR points is what I'm saying with Going Nuts pick. So if you guys think that's going to happen, it's very likely. Give me a 1-pointer in the chat. If you think it's like a medium ballsiness, 2-pointer in the chat. And if you think that's an absolutely outlandish take, give me a 3-pointer if it happens. So let me know down below there. Danny's going to be going into his, and I really hope yours happens because he's on my team.
Yeah, and real quickly, I like the Pierce pick as well. He's in the script to be able to get it done at this rate. They're playing the number 32 defense in terms of defensive DVOA against the run with the Carolina Panthers. Obviously, it's gutty because Devin Singletary literally out-snapped him last time they played on the field. So I think it's a 3 as well, honestly. No bias considering the fact that I'm literally the opposition, quote unquote, on this.
Yeah, Ethan says that's a 3 in my opinion, is what he said there.
Yeah, no, I agree. That's overcoming Devin Singletary getting more usage. So yeah, because you're taking on that risk, I think it's a 3. But either way, my Going Nuts pick of the week. And if you guys paid attention to the wide receiver show, you'll know that he is my start of the week at wide receiver. I love Drake London in this matchup going up against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans are what's the definition of a pass funnel defense. They're very bad against the pass here. Very bad against They're very bad against opposing wide receivers. And obviously we know what they're able to do against opposing running backs because they're one of the best fronts in the NFL. So I do think Drake London, he's been getting a 24+% target share since week 4 each and every game. I'm ready to go. And I think this is a 2. I don't know how people are saying 1.5 and a 1. Like he's literally not even a top 20 wide receiver in people's rankings. Like what?
Yeah, I would give you a 2-pointer for Drake. We're talking, I'd say anytime you're like 1-pointers, in my opinion, should be reserved for RB1s and wide receiver 1s. Yes. And Drake London's not a wide receiver 1 this week. So I would give you a 2-pointer, but we'll see what the rest of the chat. Yeah, Ethan's saying a 2-pointer. We'll see how it aggregates. So again, I went with Dameon Pierce. Give us your grades. Looks like it's probably going to be a 3-pointer. And then Drake London is what Danny's was. And then we will close this out now with our safe play of the week presented by Aura. And then we will hammer out as many questions as humanly possible. Safe play of the week presented by Aura. Of course, 14-day free trial link down below in the description. I'm going with the extra medium Joe Mixon play here because like I said, I think the Bengals can outright win this game. I think it's going to be close. And Joe Mixon's patented 18 carries, 47 yards, and 2 touchdowns is coming today, and he's going to finish as a top 24 running back on the week. Again, we're just the safe play of the week is just that there's a guy we don't envision busting. If you guys need a floor play, I think Joe Mixon is the perfect type of guy to put into your lineup there.
Yeah, I like that one. But going on to my safe play of the week, we got basically I can't even describe him like this.
The wide receiver, Joe Mixon.
It feels like that, but I can't even describe him like that because he's been so much better than Joe Mixon this year. But Adam Thielen, the steady veteran wide receiver, he's commanding the targets. And listen, for the last few weeks prior to this week, I was one of the guys that said, I just kind of got to keep seeing it from Thielen. I got to keep seeing it from Thielen. I know what he is at this point. He is the fulcrum of that Panthers passing attack. He's a top 15 wide receiver for me this week. And a lot of you people might be thinking out there, like, how are you suddenly realizing this? I'm giving him his flowers, man, because he's proven me wrong this year. He ends up being one of the breakout candidates of the entire season as a, 33-year-old wide receiver who literally looked cooked and got hurt last year.
I don't know. The highest win rate, like late round wide receivers, like what we would have expected would have been like Marvin Mims, like a young, exciting rookie wide receiver, not Puka Nacua, like a random slot receiver who went in the 5th round or whatever, or Adam Thielen, the guy who's, like 37 years old or whatever. Like how are these the breakout candidate, like sleepers that we missed on? Like, I don't understand. Like Sky Moore, that would have made perfect sense, right? No, these are not the type of breakout candidate sleepers we're getting right now.
What's so, speaking of Sky Moore real quick, what's so crazy about him is that literally the ideal perfect situation was there for him. All he had to do was not be urine at football. And you know what he went out and did?
He's been urine at football. Dude, if he was an average player, he would be a breakout monster right now. Anyways, let's get into actual questions here. Those were our superlatives of the week. We'll update you guys on some records after that. We're kind of struggling. Last week, we almost clean sweep, didn't hit anything. I think Spicy hit his underdog, I think, was the only thing that got hit. And then I hit my safe play, and so did Spicy, and you missed everything. You went 0 for 4 last week. Our Gravy says, half PPR, Javonte, Downs, Hunt, or B-Rob. I'm going to probably go with Javonte Williams here, man. We got a snow game. It's going to be a running game script there, Denver and Kansas City. Give me Javonte Williams here.
Fuck, I play against Travis Kelce. The amount of 7-yard dump offs in the snow he's get.
For what it's worth, I think this is actually good if you play against Travis Kelce because he was probably going to go for 200 yards if you didn't. So
he's probably going to go for it anyways.
The 11 for 96 stat line that he's about to have, but I think it will affect the passing game a little bit. And I'm actually sitting Cortland Sutton as a result because I'm not excited about the passing game in that game.
Yeah. I just meant it from the fact they'll have no verticality to their offense.
Yeah, no, literally. It's not going to be a great situation, but yeah, I would go with Javonte there, our Gravy.
Yeah. Pick 2, Z Fleas.
Zay Flowers, I think.
That's what I assumed it was too. Kirk, DJ Moore, or Ford, which? What?
And then which defense? Seattle or Jacksonville. So I'm going Christian Kirk for sure. Christian Kirk for sure. Jerome Ford is probably not going to play, and even if he did, I wouldn't play him over these guys. I'd probably go Zay and Christian Kirk, but DJ Moore and Zay would be really close.
Kirk and Moore for me. Kirk and Moore.
Really? You'd go Moore over Zay?
Well, the downside, of course, is Tyson Bagent at quarterback, but
and the really easy matchup for Zay Flowers too.
For sure, but again, that's a negative. Do not get me wrong. But as good as the matchup is for Zay Flowers, DJ Moore has the easiest matchup. The easiest.
Oh yeah, he's got a really easy matchup. You wanna go head to head on that one?
I don't mind if I full PPR.
Yeah, let's do it head to head. So we got Zay Flowers versus DJ Moore. Sorry, we're not helping you at all, Felix here, but I think I want to trust the better offense, the better quarterback, and it's like the Cardinals are giving it to wide receivers. So I like the Zay Flowers there. I think this could be like the game that he has. He had a breakout game already. He's been good all season, but we need to see a monster game out of Zay Flowers, and I think this could be the one.
You going Jaguars D or you going Seattle? Let me just see
right. I would go.
What do the implied points say on the chart right now?
Implied points on the chart say I don't even.
That's literally the difference. Right. So the Jaguars, the Steelers are implied for 19.25. The Browns,
honestly, I just want to pick on. I want to pick on the Steelers more than I want to pick on the Browns, to be honest.
Actually, so I just fixed it. Technically speaking, it showed the Browns as the favorites over the Seahawks, but the Seahawks are -4, so I just made that switch. The Browns are implied for 17. Steelers are 19.25, but I honestly just think that the Browns might be underprojected. Like I think they got a sneaky spot here.
Yeah, no, I definitely would go against the go against. I don't want to go against the
Consensus
Browns
there.
because I think
Yeah.
they can move the ball on offense a little bit more. The
Yeah.
Steelers are more prone to mistakes as well. But
Yeah.
I mean, maybe I'm underrating Kenny Pickett's development because since Deontay's been back and him and George Pickens have had a good connection all year, maybe I'm underrating that. But I think I would go with Jacksonville's defense there.
So fellows, McLaurin, Rice, or Dell? Well, it's going to be McLaurin for me. Just in general,
He does quite well against the Philadelphia Eagles.
I was just gonna say that, and the next closest would be Dice Rice as well, but because he has the snow game implications, it makes the matchup even harder for him. And
Tank Dell, for what it's worth, is Spicy Hot's going nuts pick of the week, and I don't think I have to speak for anybody when I say that's probably a 3-pointer, considering he's been out for the last 2 games. Line says sit one between DJ Moore, Puka, Kirk, Devontae, and Olave. I'm sitting DJ Moore here. Puka is in your lineup. Devontae, I think, has a good bounce back
DJ
spot
Moore.
this week. Christian Kirk is definitely in your lineup, and so is Olave. So yeah, you're sitting DJ Moore there. Blind.
Agreed.
Our Gravy says half PPR, Garrett Wilson, Kirk, or Nico, projected down 15.
Kirk.
Yeah, these guys are all really good options, man. I think if you're down 15 projected, I would go for the upside play and go with Nico Collins.
I would too. Knowing the spot, knowing that instead of, because again, I have a Kirk one spot higher than Collins in my full PPR rankings. Because it's half PPR, Nico Collins more of that downplay threat, playing the Carolina Panthers. You need some upside. I don't mind actually making that call.
I do have Garrett Wilson actually higher than both of them, but that's in full PPR where Garrett Wilson's going to have 11 targets probably. These guys are all close, man. Like I have them 16, 18, and 19. Like they're all really, really close.
I got a proposition for you. I'll give you either of Kirk or Nico, whichever one you want me to have, and I'll have them toe-to-toe half PPR against Garrett.
Okay, I will give you I'll give you Kirk. I don't want to fuck with Nico this week, so.
Okay,
I'll give you Kirk, and we'll go Christian Kirk versus Garrett Wilson. I think Garrett Wilson could have a nice little game here.
I like Garrett too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, dude, like put like a number in a hat, right? Like these guys are all have high ceilings. They're all pretty good floors because they all have high target shares. I would say Kirk is the least appealing in half PPR because of the he's mainly a reception guy.
Yeah.
I would go either Garrett Wilson or Nico, whichever offense you think you trust more. And I think that would be Houston. So I'd probably go with Nico Collins there.
Choose one, Purdy or T-Law. Considering the fact that Purdy's coming off of concussion protocol, that just makes it a default to T-Law.
Yeah, I think I would go with Lawrence. I mean, he's going to start, and he should be fine. But I would rather just start Lawrence. I think.
Yeah, and I mean, people might come out. Well, Trevor Lawrence is done with knee injury. Well, he played well last week, so I'm not really concerned about it. It looked like he could manage it. A and B. With Brock Purdy, I got to raise him back in my rankings. I forgot to adjust him, but he's going to be more of a 10 to 15 option for me. I think it's a tough spot, man. The Bengals have a good defense, and I don't want him. He's not been playing well these last couple of weeks. Yes, the scheme will end up winning out at the end of the day, but he's coming off the concussion protocol. I just don't want to mess with that, especially in a single quarterback league. If it's double quarterback, if it's 2 quarterback super flex, you just kind of have to bite the bullet there. But in a single quarterback league, there's just too many good options for me to just have to worry about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think I roll Garrett Wilson over Terry McLaurin in the second part of this question, but they're both also really good options this week. Pedro says half PPR start 2 flex: Kirk, Amari, Javonte, and Collins.
Collins and Kirk.
I think that's probably where I'm at as well. Don't really want to mess with the snow game, even though it's a good script potentially for Javonte. The Chiefs defense is pretty strong. And then Amari Cooper on the road against Seattle. PJ Walker's the quarterback. I think it's better situation for Kirk and Collins there.
Yep. Half PPR start 2, Puka, Waddle, Ridley, Christian Watson. It's the first 2.
It's the first 2, but I do think we're getting Calvin Ridley bounce back this week.
I don't mind it either. I have to drop him in my rankings because he has to play well before I put him back there, but I can definitely see this being the sweetest.
I'm projecting him now. I'm not going to wait.
What do you have him ranked?
Maybe I'm being a psycho, but that's what I'm doing. Bernard says, already asked on Tone Center, but Chuba.
1 sec. 1 sec, real quick. Who do you have higher between Calvin Ridley and Jordan Addison?
I think I have Addison higher. Let me look. Yeah, I have Addison higher.
Ridley or Jacoby Myers?
I have Ridley higher than Jacoby Myers this week.
Full PPR, you want to make that one?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. Again, it feels like I'm playing for a double right here. You're playing for the home run, where it's like you're like Big Poppy Ortiz at the plate, and I'm like Jose Altuve. Where it's like I'm
Yeah.
just trying to get on base. Like Jacoby Myers is such an on base type of pick.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with Jimmy G probably coming back this week, that bodes well for you. The Lions defense is pretty strong. I'm excited because I want to get to watch that game in Mexico.
It'll be fun.
I'm hoping I already have the win locked up in my home league, so I don't have to stress it because I already got 50 points hung on my opponent Thursday night with Dalton Kincaid and Josh Allen stack. So
I wouldn't say that out loud because you know how fickle fantasy.
No, I know how fickle fantasy is, and he has Jahmyr Gibbs on Monday night, which is going to be sketchy. I have Jacobs, so I mean, at least I can, if we're going into the
Gibbs is
game,
gonna go
I'm
ballistic,
up 10
dude.
points or something like that, and I have Jacobs versus his Gibbs. I think I should be fine, but I wouldn't be shocked if Jahmyr Gibbs went nuclear on Monday night. So
I think he will, man. I have him ranked as my RB8 this week, but that feels low. Like I want to raise him higher, man. Where do you have him ranked?
Jahmyr Gibbs, I have him at 6.
I felt low at 8, so clearly I am.
Bernard says already asked on Tone Setter, but Chuba or Roshan. So I have Chuba ranked kind of aggressively just because I think with
Sanders.
What's his name? Sanders coming off of an injury. He wasn't listed on the injury report, so it looks like he's going to be a full go. But I still think I trust the matchup. Houston's a pretty easy run defense. Roshan Johnson, I mean, we talked about this on the Monday show, right? Like these young running backs are getting beat out by veterans who know the system and who know the coaching staff. I already realized that, Roshan is the guy basically that made Deontay Foreman inactive prior to his injury. But at the same time, I think with Roshan coming off of a multi-week injury, it's probably likely that Foreman will get like 60% of the work, give or take.
And not to mention, man, like people might think this doesn't matter to a certain degree, but I can tell you right now, from a coaching staff perspective, this absolutely matters. Deontay Foreman has balled out since he's gotten that role. Like, yes, the fantasy player in us wants to see the young, rookie running back end up getting that starting role. But if Foreman's successful and he's giving an edge to their running game that they didn't have all year, like, why would you dial down his work? Like, maybe dial down in the sense that maybe instead of 20 touches, he gets 15, but he should still be the RB1 there.
Yeah, for sure.
And I'm not just saying
hey
that
guys, how are you
feeling
today? This is directed at you, I think.
Yeah, we're better times. We've seen better times
there, Carlos. Standard start 3, Keenan Allen, Christian Watson, Addison, Downs, Pittman. So Keenan Allen's in your lineup, obviously. Addison's probably the next best option there as well. And then it probably comes down to Pittman. Like Colts receivers, obviously, but Pittman most likely. I think it's a squeaky wheel game for Pittman. He already kind of voiced some displeasure about not getting the ball. So I think I would roll with him over Christian Watson and Downs.
I would too. Though I will say it is scary benching like the big play threat that Watson is. I just want to see him get back to that level before I adjust him in my rankings. Like people are wondering, like, no Christian Watson in your top 30. Like when I did the wide receiver show, I'm like, guys, like wide receivers 25 to 40.
There's like a lot of very good wide receivers. It's hard to put a guy that hasn't really done a whole lot in the top 30.
And again, you guys know how much I love Christian Watson, but until he goes out on the field and proves the talent that I think he has, like, I'm sorry, like Terry McLaurin is going to be ranked over him. Like guys like that will be ranked over
Watson in one of my dynasty leagues 3 days ago. I traded the first round pick of the guy who is currently 6-1 right now, and a second round pick of the same guy, and I got Christian Watson and Greg Dulcich. So I got a very late 1 and a very late 2 as it currently stands for Christian Watson and Greg Dulcich in a tight end premium as well. So feel pretty good about that trade.
Need to Gibbs, Mixon, Swift, Mostert already starting CMC. Gibbs is for 100% in your lineup, and I'm assuming the other one would be Swift.
Yeah, Swift would be the other one for me, but Mostert, is pretty close.
They're back to back for me. They're 10-11.
Yeah, I have Swift actually at 8, so I have Swift a little bit higher than Mostert.
So who do you have lower? Do you have Pollard lower?
I have Kamara at 10. That's probably the guy.
I have Kamara at 6. Where do you have Bijan?
I have Bijan at 4.
Okay, I have him a little bit lower this week just because the Titans are no joke.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is the game that corrects the Bijan discourse.
Yeah, fair. So real quick, and then we'll get through all the comments so we're not completely behind. But like, if you're going top 10, like, what's your top 10 look like right now? I'm just trying to like see.
So I have Christian McCaffrey at 1, Austin Eckler at 2, Travis Etienne at 3, Bijan, Tony Pollard to close out my top 5. Gibbs, Brees, Swift, Pacheco, and Alvin Kamara to close out my top 10.
I have literally the exact same names in my top 10, just in a different order. I have it as McCaffrey, Eckler, Etienne, Pollard at 4, Brees at 5, Kamara at 6 against Indianapolis. Bijan 7, Gibbs 8, Pacheco 9, Swift 10.
Yeah, that's fair.
Is there?
So we also got here, Bernard says again, rain
Ridley.
in Pittsburgh. Should I start Ridley or Downs? I'm still going to go with Ridley. I'm going to double check that weather report just to make sure it's not like horrible. It's funny. Me and my home league, I have Ridley and my opponent has Christian Kirk and Evan Ingram. So I actually, net wise, if it was raining and it was a low scoring game, I think it's a net positive there. So
yeah, no, for sure. I would still go with Ridley. I'm assuming you agree there.
Yeah, I would as well.
Unless it's like a down four.
Amari, DeMercado, Darrell Henderson, Chuba Hubbard, or Miles Sanders. I think I'm going to roll with Hubbard as the best option here. And then I think I'm going to go Henderson as the second best option, maybe.
The thing with Henderson that feels
DeMercado is interesting in PPR. He's going to probably catch some passes, and I think that the Ravens will probably boat race the Cardinals. So I literally have them back to back. When I did the running back tier list, I had Henderson at 30 and Amari at 31. So
I have Henderson at 29 and Amari at 32 for the record. Also, I have Chuba Hubbard at 27, so he would be.
Yeah, I have Chuba at 26. So I would go Chuba and Henderson, but I would say the ceiling play is DeMercado because he has more PPR upside.
Yeah, the funny thing, by the way, is those first two running backs are literally playing 2 of the top 3 defenses in defensive DVOA this week with the Ravens and the Cowboys.
Yeah, that's great.
By the way, fun fact, I don't think people realize just how good the Ravens defense is. Yes, they'll think it's a good defense. So the difference in DVOA right now between the Ravens who are at 2 and the Cowboys who are at 3 is the same difference between the Cowboys who are at 3 and the Saints who are at 8. So like those top 2 right now, the AFC North guys,
dominant basically.
Yeah. And I mean, shout out Michigan man himself, Mike McDonald, for turning that defense into what it is. So
yeah, for sure.
Happy he'll get some coaching looks for sure. Head coaching. Looks.
Dan says, thanks for advising us to start Cousins. Dan. I mean, we like to hear when we actually give you guys the right decision. You guys are quick to tell us when we don't, but we do like to hear when we're actually correct on some stuff here. Start 2 wide receivers, Nakua, McLaurin, London, and Lockett, Bijan and Pollard at running back. So Nakua is never not in your lineup. Like there's no world I would tell you to sit
Nakua and London.
Right. Yeah. I would say Nakua is the first guy, and then London would probably be my second, but McLaurin is a pretty good option this week as well.
I as much as I liked McLaurin, like for me, I think London's going to go smash. And again, obviously, he's my going nuts player for a reason, but I'm not sitting Drake London this week.
Yeah, they're both really good options though.
2 running backs, Madison, Stevenson, Spears, Javonte.
Stevenson and Javonte Williams pretty easily for me.
Yeah. I will say
Madison is he's in a split backfield right now, and then Tajay, it's like he's in a split backfield also.
Yeah. Jones, Watson, Downs, JSN, and Laporta. I mean,
so Jones did not carry an injury designation heading into the game, which I think is pretty significant. Because when you're not Arthur Smith, you have to report when somebody's injured, and Aaron Jones apparently is fine now. So I would roll with Aaron Jones. I said in the running back tier list that I had Aaron Jones at 27 because I was worried about the hamstring injury, but I since moved him up to 16 because it sounds like he's full go. So I would roll with Aaron Jones there, Royer.
Yeah. By the way, real quick, what's your decision between Charbonnet and Jeff Wilson today?
Charbonnet and Jeff Wilson?
Just randomly. I'm talking about with my home. That's how I have it right now. I kind of got screwed because Josh Palmer.
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, I might even just wait for Josh Palmer, dude. Neither of those options are good.
Fair. I don't know, man. Like Jeff Wilson's expected to get more touches this week. Mostert's coming off like a banged up practice week. Like, I think he might get touches, man. And they're 8.5 point favorites at home against the Patriots.
Yeah, fair. So Mark says DeMercado or Roschon. I think I'm gonna go. Like, here's the thing: DeMercado is the safer play.
I'm going DeMercado.
DeMercado versus Roschon is like a ceiling floor argument. In half PPR, DeMercado takes a little bit of a hit. I actually have Roschon higher, like slightly, so I would actually go with Roschon.
I'd go DeMercado, but like literally, it's just your risk tolerance level. Are you the underdog? If you're the underdog and you need a spike week, go for Roschon. If you're the favorite, you're projected, to win by 6 or whatever. Go with DeMercado because he's probably going to get a workload compared.
I wrote that one down. Half PPR DeMercado versus Roschon.
I don't mind that. I don't feel great about it, but I don't.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson or George Pickens. Oh, wow.
Pickens. I think I have Pickens higher. Let me see. They're really close, by the way. That's why I'm saying that.
I have Garrett Wilson. Given the weather, I think I'd roll with Garrett Wilson.
I have Garrett Wilson 1 spot higher.
I have Garrett Wilson well above him, actually.
Wow. Really?
Yeah, I have Garrett Wilson at 16, and I have George Pickens at 24. So
I have George Pickens at 24, but I have Garrett Wilson at 23.
yeah, no, I have Garrett Wilson like way higher
Fair.
in full PPR against the Giants. Man, like their corners are so bad. Like I think Garrett Wilson has a 13 target game
You could
this week.
very well.
I mean, Pickens is a great option too, but Chargers or Detroit defense. Detroit against Vegas on Monday night, or the Chargers against Tyson Bagent. I think I'm taking the Chargers against Tyson Bagent.
I mean, the Chargers are just a bad defense. I'm going with Detroit.
They are a bad defense, and Detroit's a good defense, but.
Yeah.
I think in the modern NFL, I think bad offense is better to attack than good defense attacking salt. Like the Raiders offense with Myers and Adams and Jacobs and Garoppolo all healthy, they can put up points.
They're
not that great, but I would prefer to pick on Tyson Bagent because it's giving me Ben DiNucci on Sunday Night Football vibes where like
Bagent was good last week.
Right, but do you remember when
DiNucci never had a good game, bro.
Performance, and then they put him on Sunday Night Football, and he was just horrible. Like that's giving me Tyson Bagent vibes right now.
DiNucci was never good.
He had that one good game though, right?
No, I don't even think he started.
I feel like maybe he closed one of the games out and looked good, and that's why everybody was getting excited. Because I remember specifically Michael Irvin was like DiNucci, like hyped about him.
No, I remember I was making a nickname that he was just Gucci DiNucci.
Yeah. Gooch cheese DiNucci.
Yeah.
Bill Jordan says pick 2 for flex. Foreman, Flowers, Rice, Pittman, Saint. Okay, so the flex decision here for me is probably Flowers for sure, and then Pittman versus Foreman. Yeah. And I mean, you didn't say if this was PPR or not. In any kind of PPR league, I think I roll Flowers and Pittman here.
Yeah, I'm doing Flowers and Pittman. What about Stevenson versus Foreman?
I'm taking Stevenson this week.
Yeah. I would too, just because the workload is guaranteed. However,
with Roschon being thrown back into the mix, we don't know how it's going to affect it. And even last week, Foreman was only like a 50% snap share guy. They used a lot of Darrington Evans.
Pickens, Javonte, or Kareem Hunt. I'm honestly just going Pickens.
Yeah, I'm going Pickens there as well.
Appreciate that, Galen. If you have a comment, feel free to leave it.
You can look for that if you want.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna look for it. Oh, Galen Galen donated again. I'm not sure if it's the same one, but Galen donated again.
Okay, well, full PPR, Joe Burrow or CJ Stroud. I'm taking Burrow this week, man. I think it's the bounce back spot.
Real quick, Galen, is it the
Here, we can skip to the question because he already supered once here. Start downs are Ridley or Javonte Williams full PPR. So I would go with Ridley personally in this question.
So would I. Okay, so now I see. It was the same question.
Okay, well, appreciate the double, Dono. You didn't actually have to do that. We were going to skip to it anyways, but Jaweva says pick 1 to start. Brian Robinson, Rashee Rice, Jerry Jeudy. Was going to do Rice, but Mahomes has the flu. I mean, Mahomes has the flu in a snow game. I wouldn't say Rice would have been the good option anyway. And Jeudy is in the same atmosphere, so I'd probably just start Brian Robinson.
Yeah. Did you get the BK Rich, Burrow or Stroud? Burrow.
Yeah, right? I said Burrow.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, I would go.
I think I just go B-Rob here.
B-Rob. Yeah, I agree. Half PPR, pick 3, Chase, Puka, Addison,
God, imagine having decisions like this.
So you're sitting Addison and Nico. Come on, you can't say anything else than that.
I have Addison over Olave.
I'll take that.
Half PPR, let's do it.
Run it.
All right.
I forgot you're the
Jared here.
I forgot you're the Olave hate. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah, he's shout out for hashtag get better, Danny. He says. I mean, like actually, Danny does need to get better today.
I do need to get better.
Flex spot: Roschon, Hubbard, Ridley, Higgins, Singletary. Who to flex?
Higgins.
I have Ridley the highest here, but knowing that the weather might be a little shaky,
Higgins.
I might roll with Higgins then.
I'm going Higgins.
Let me actually look at this. Is this game in Pittsburgh or in Jacksonville here?
Pittsburgh.
Yeah, okay. Steelers weather today. I want to see what like the weather report actually is. Okay. Full PPR pick.
AJ Brown should not be in that question.
Yeah, AJ Brown's always in your lineup, but I think I'm sitting Flowers here, which is crazy because I like him.
I'm sitting Pickens.
You sitting Pickens over Flowers this week?
Yeah,
they're really
close.
Flowers. That's a really close decision.
Where do you have them ranked respectively? I have Pickens at 25 and Flowers at 22.
I literally have Flowers at 25 and Pickens at 24.
Yeah, I have Flowers a little bit higher, so I would go with Flowers, but over Pickens. But honestly, God, you're probably not pressed either way with that. Actually,
Yeah.
to be fair, I have Wilson one spot over Pickens. Okay, never mind.
Shallow 10-team league, half PPR. I'm 3-4 and need to consolidate. But until then, who's my flex? Jesus. Waddle, Olave, Pacheco, and Addison.
Olave.
I would not start Olave in this decision. No chance. I would probably start both Pacheco.
Why are you so against Olave, bro?
Because I don't trust Derek Carr. That's why. Especially in half PPR where I need big plays and touchdowns. I want the Kansas City Chiefs running back or the Miami Dolphins wide receiver. So
Pacheco's in that. Never mind. I did not see Pacheco.
I would take either Pacheco or Waddle here, and I tend to lean Pacheco, to be honest.
No, I didn't see Pacheco. That's my fault. I would actually
Waddle's really like Waddle versus Pacheco would be really close for me here.
I have Olave higher ranked than any of the receivers in that question. I would take Pacheco for what it's worth. So I do agree with you.
I'm acting like it's a big difference. I have Waddle at 15 and Olave at 16. Like they're literally back to back for me. But I would prefer Waddle.
Fair. I really like the matchup for Olave this week. But now with that being said, it's still Pacheco. Lock it
or Dobbs full PPR.
Lock it.
Probably lock it, but he's been shit this year.
Yeah. Start 2 running backs and flex. Hall, JTK. What the fuck?
I'm sitting Olave here.
You're starting the first 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing, though, is like Kenneth Walker against the Browns with Charbonnet coming back. Like you could maybe make the argument to go JT, Waddle, and Olave here.
But
I think I'd go JT, K9, and Waddle personally.
I'm just going with the running backs. I'm not worrying about it.
Yeah. Alfredo says, or should I start Keenan and Addison and then put Javonte or Hunt if Ford in my flexes? Okay, hold on. Or just keep... no, I would... Keenan and Addison, then put Javonte in my flex. Okay, so what was his original question? Because I got to go back up to this because there was...
Yeah, if you could find that, let me know.
Okay, so he said... Okay, so his original question was Keenan Allen, Addison, Pittman, Watson, or Downs. The question really becomes, would you rather start Javonte over Pittman or Watson?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah.
That's pretty close, man. I think I would probably just start.
Is it half or full?
It's half, I think. Or no, I think he said standard, actually.
Then it's the running back.
Yeah, he said standard. So I'd probably actually go with Javonte then in a standard league.
Yep. What was the other part? Sorry. Then put Javonte or Hunt if Ford doesn't play on my flex, or just keep the 3 right. Okay, so if you could put Javonte in your flex and then start.
Yeah, start Keenan Allen and Addison and then put Javonte in your flex. That's what I would do.
Yeah, there you go. Start Downs or Ridley. Oh, we already answered that. Appreciate that, Caitlin. Full point PPR, Myers, Higgins, Nico Collins in my flex. I have Collins the highest. I have Collins the highest. Though Myers pretty low.
I have Collins the highest as well, but I have Higgins pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, they're all pretty close for what it's worth. Bill, appreciate that. Let me see if you have any follow-up. You got it?
Yeah, I got it covered here.
Yep.
Bryce says here, I have Hawkinson, ARSB, Garrett Wilson, Godwin, Collins. Wow.
Wait.
Dynasty 10-man PPR. Should I trade Collins for Laporta? Yeah, probably. Given, I mean, you have Hawkinson already. There's no real reason to do that, I think. I think I would just hold Hawkinson.
When I said that, I meant go to Bill's questions because he's
sorry. I didn't have the question there because I just do the sticker.
Oh, fair. Okay.
I wasn't looking for the question. I thought you said you were going to go look for it.
Oh, fair. Sorry.
But anyways, what are your thoughts on this trade? I think I would just keep Hawkinson. I don't think I'm excited about going after Laporta. I just keep Hawkinson.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, that's a fair trade, Collins for Laporta. I think I prefer Laporta, to be honest.
Honestly, God, give me Laporta, and then let me sell Hawkinson, knowing that he's probably going to have more value in this league if you're getting Laporta for Collins.
Maybe, but if Laporta's going for that low, it's possible that Hawkinson ain't fetching you too much.
Maybe, but I would rather Laporta than Hawkinson. And I mean, or better, I guess not better yet, because technically speaking, he just won't trade Hawkinson for Laporta because like it does him no good. But
yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. I think it's just creating more work for yourself. I would just hold Hawkins.
Yeah, it's creating more work, but I mean, you got to work the market a little
It's
bit.
not a margin. It's like a marginal upgrade in my opinion. And I want to keep
Oh,
Collins
I
too.
would.
Like I don't really
I
want to trade Collins either.
I love Collins, but it's an easy Laporta for over him in Dynasty. Laporta's my
Yeah,
Dynasty
no,
tight end
I
3.
agree. It really all depends what you can get for Hawkinson. Maybe see what you
Yeah.
can get for Hawkinson first before you make that move.
Henderson or Bourne in my flexible PPR. This is Kendrick Bourne. This is Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah, I also would go with Kendrick Bourne.
Pick 3 PPR. DJ Moore, Hollywood Brown, Dell, Mixon. So basically, you're just sitting one here. I'm probably just sitting Tank Dell.
Yeah, I'm sitting Tank Dell there as well.
Appreciate the super chat from Cody. Let me know if he has any start sits. We'll go right to it.
Yeah. I'm looking. I see. So Bill already super chatted once. I'll look for Cody and Bill. You can keep going.
Okay. Half PPR, Stafford or Burrow, Puka, and Gus or Foreman. I would have Burrow in my lineup, and Gus or Foreman. I would rather go with Deontay Foreman there. Jack, appreciate the super chat.
Oh, so Bill was adding to his question. He said, I also have Tank Dell available for flex. And his original question was about this one here. Flower. I would still go with Flowers and Pittman and then Stevenson there. It doesn't change it with Tank Dell involved.
Agree with that. Got super here from AJ. Says Ridley, Londoner, Pittman, and PPR. Thanks, guys. If you have to start one of these guys, I would go with Drake London. I don't think you'd agree. I would take that bet.
I have London and Ridley like so close, but I do actually have Ridley higher.
I mean, we already have a Ridley. What was our Ridley bet?
It was Ridley versus Jacoby Myers.
Yeah.
We can change it to London if you want.
It's not that big of a deal.
I have both players on my home league team, so I hope both of us crush that one.
I have Myers and London back to back in my rankings, so it really is.
I also found Cody's question here. He said, love the fuck out of you boys for all the work you put in. I'm letting you guys know I traded ETN for Bijan and Olave, went 0-4, now 3-4.
Let's go.
I mean, Bijan and ETN are neck and neck rest of the season, and then you get Olave as a free add in there, so that's a great move.
Oh yeah, love that move. Appreciate the super chat and appreciate the support there, Cody. Ridley or Nico and flex, Williams or Foreman RB2. I would go with Nico over Ridley, and I would go with Javonte over Foreman.
Yeah, I would as well.
Standard leads start at flex. Najee, Downs, Algier, Roshan. Downs. It's standard, but it's standard, so it's probably Najee, isn't it?
Ugh.
It's Najee.
I would go down. I think I'm still going
standard.
Downs. Yeah, don't care. I'm still going Downs. He showed big play upside. Najee sucks, man. I don't.
He does suck, but he does get a workload, and it's
still ass backwards into the end zone last week. I mean,
I'm going Najee, and I don't want to ever say that again. To be honest, if it was any type of PPR, I'd go with Downs for the record. But in standard, half 12, 3-4 currently. Next week needs start. Warren RB2, Hall is 1, Gibbs on bye, load out wide receiver. Should I try and trade Gabe Davis plus Warren for White Hunter? No. Yeah.
No, I would prefer to hold Gabe Davis there. I would just start Warren as your RB2 next week, unfortunately.
I don't mind that. PPR need 2+ upside. Ram, Dell,
Ramondre Stevenson, Dell, London, Christian. Okay, so
London and Ramondre.
Upside. London is definitely your upside play, as is Christian Watson for what it's worth. I would say London and Christian Watson are your upside plays. If you don't need the upside, or you want to go for slightly less upside, I think Ramondre and London are my highest ranked players of this group. But if you really need the upside, then Watson and London would be what I would
like. If you're like a 15+ point underdog and you need to swing for the fences, then I don't mind going Watson over Ramondre. But anything less than that, just go with Ramondre. He's guaranteed the workload.
Yep.
Dell or Downs over Deontay Johnson, PPR crap weather in Pittsburgh.
I would start Downs over Deontay Johnson, even if the weather wasn't crap.
Yeah. I don't mind that. I was offered Devontae Smith for Kyler Murray, PPR league, and I have Herbert as quarterback. Accept or no? Absolutely.
Well, absolutely, dude. I sold Kyler Murray basically for nothing. I swapped from Pitts to Fab and Dalton Kincaid using Kyler Murray. So yeah, I mean, I would definitely take Devontae Smith if anybody was offering me that.
Yeah, for sure. Half PPR starts at Prescott or Stroud. I think Stroud's going to catch a couple more passes.
Yeah, I'm taking CJ regardless because Dak has had one good game and a bunch of terrible ones so far this year.
I think Dak's going to get
a much easier matchup for Stroud too.
Well, I mean, let me finish. I think Dak's going to get back on track now. With that being said, I have Stroud at 9 and Dak at 12. Now,
Yeah.
if Dak has another really good game against the Rams this week, I have no problem moving him back up. But the pace of the offense right now isn't what I wanted to see, and I just
It's a
want to.
Pollard. I'm smelling a Pollard game, dude.
Oh,
I
it
think
is.
it's a
I
Pollard
hope
game.
so. I have him in my home league, but
So do I. Now that I traded for him.
let's go, bro. Got one from Joe. Appreciate y'all. Half PPR, Waller or Kittle. Appreciate the super chat as well, and appreciate you for the support. In terms of the tight end question, I should have Kittle higher, I believe. Let me just make sure. I have Kittle at 5 and Waller at 8.
Kittle lives as my tight end 5 like every single week.
He's
because
always
George
there.
Kittle is going to give you 1 point or he's going to give you 37. There's no in between, and you have to start him every single week. Otherwise, you're going to miss those 37ers.
Dude,
Waller's the safer projection week over week because he has the target share, but I want Kittle in my lineup when he has those monster games.
For sure. You got where
No
we left
Devo
off,
too.
right?
So
I mean, did we even get a comment yet? Wait, Nuke has a super sticker. So if you want to have your comment, we'll quickly get to that, and we will try to smash some of the comments at the beginning of the stream. By the way,
yeah, we got Carlos here. Crazy for wanting to start Waddle over K9. No, in
not
full
crazy,
PPR,
but
I would rather start Waddle, to be honest.
Yeah, not crazy.
It's like, dude, I think when Carlos asked this question, I was like, dude, like K9's like a great option, but like they'd be neck and neck. You're talking about a like top 15 wide receiver in full PPR versus like a top 15 running back in full PPR, which, typically you lean wide receiver, especially when the running back is K9, who doesn't really catch a ton of passes.
And goes against the Browns.
Yeah.
By the way, Nuke, if you have a follow-up, just let me know. Because I see the super sticker. Got one from no, I just going to the next one. Got one from Johnny. He says Foreman, Javonte Williams, or Daryl Henderson. This is going to be Javonte Williams for me, Johnny.
Yeah, I would as well. So we going all the way back to the top, or you got more?
We're all caught up so far until Nuke has another comment.
All right, all the way back up, chronological order. Our boy Rolando, first one in here every single week, it seems like. Sup, fellas, starts at Christian Watson, Josh Palmer, then Michael Pittman or Curtis Samuel. I mean, Palmer, I just wouldn't risk it. Just play Christian Watson. And then Michael Pittman is a pretty easy answer there, Rolando. Dylan says,
we've got a couple real quick. Justin, appreciate that. He says, half PPR start 1, Collins, London, Wilson Pierce. I also have Waddle, Olave, Johnson, and Hall Kamara. Who should I package for any trade, if any? I mean, looking at this list, Kamara is the one that sticks out to me if you can sell high on him. I'm just a little bit worried about the
maybe you can sell high on Kamara, go after like Bijan or somebody like that. Maybe Pollard has like good usage again, but maybe not quite the performance. I don't know, man. Like, I'm still nervous about Kamara. Don't get me wrong. Like, he's definitely like just
he's
getting
still good, but
targets though. Like, he's literally just getting absolutely fed targets right now. So it's hard to deny what he's doing.
I get it. I just want to see what the split looks like when Kendrick's fully healthy. Williams
and Jamal was his first game back too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, no, for sure. We got the follow-up, by the way, from Nuke. So yeah, that's what we would do. Try to see if you could sell high on Kamara after the week there. Appreciate the super chat there, Justin. Maybe package Kamara plus one of those wide receivers and go try to get a hammer at wide receiver. Like if Nico Collins. Well, I was going to say, if Nico Collins is a big game, do you think Kamara plus Nico Collins can get you up to like a stud?
Maybe. Like, that might be able to get you like a low, like if Chase and the Bengals look bad today, like maybe you could get to Chase.
Yeah, no, that's what I'd be trying to do there. I have Addison, Zay Flowers, Ken Walker, need flex. Also have DJ Moore, wide receivers 2. Who should I change? That plus Stroud or Burrow. I would leave your lineup the way it is, and I would go with. I think I have Burrow. I have Burrow one spot lower than Stroud.
He says need flex.
Yeah, no, he said
I think he's only starting one of these guys. He said, I have Addison, Zay Flowers, and Kenneth Walker. Need flex. Also have DJ Moore at wide receiver 2. Should I change that? So, yes, you should change that. Addison over DJ Moore as your wide receiver 2. And then my flex would be Kenneth Walker.
I have DJ Moore and Addison are back-to-back for me.
You have Moore a lot higher than me then.
I do, dude. I have Moore actually one spot higher than Addison.
Yeah, bro.
I have Moore at 19.
I have TJ Moore at 31, bro.
Oh, you're fucking sleeping on him, man.
Maybe, but like
the Chargers suck.
I have Addison at 14, dude.
No, I love him, but he's 20 for me. He's 20 for me.
Why do you have Moore so high?
I mean, the Chargers reek and Tyson Bagent.
I know the Chargers reek, but so does Tyson Bagent.
He wasn't a complete train wreck last week.
I'm not believing in that too much. I don't know. I'm cool leaving DJ Moore in there if you want, but then Addison's your flex.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Although I would go Addison and Ken Walker, like I said.
Respectable. G, if you have a follow-up, feel free to let us know. Bill, I forgot to mention, I also have Dell available for flex. You guys said Flowers and Pittman flex, Stevenson
Yeah,
over
sorry.
Foreman.
We already answered this, Bill,
Yes.
but appreciate the super chat nonetheless. Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Flowers and Pittman, and then Stevenson over Foreman, and Dell doesn't really factor into that decision. He could have a good game today, but he's coming off a multi-week injury. I think the process play is to go with Flowers and Pittman.
For sure. Ridley or Kittle or Javonte full PPR.
Ridley.
Over Javonte?
Yeah. Full PPR. Yeah. 100%.
I would go Javonte. That's a close one. That's a close one. But we're all caught up for now.
Game, baby.
We're all caught up for now. You can take us back.
Yeah. Okay. So all the way back up to 11:42 a.m. We got Dylan here. Good morning, afternoon now. Have AJ Brown at wide receiver 1. Start 2 between Ridley, Kirk, Metcalf, McLaurin. Saw your trade vid on Ridley and Kirk, but league doesn't trade. Yeah. So I mean, you gotta. When people say their league doesn't trade, I usually think that means that everybody's trying to send fleece offers, and that's why nothing ever goes through. You got to give something up to get something. So find a team that needs a wide receiver and trade for a running back, or whatever. Like, give them something that they need in exchange for something you need. Because you have Ridley and Kirk, I'd be more inclined to sell at 90 cents on the dollar on Kirk. So maybe you can get an RB2 type for Christian Kirk in a trade. But as far as your question goes, I personally would start the 2 Jags probably. It would really come down to Ridley, and the problem is it's difficult to make the decision on which Jaguar you start and then put Metcalf or McLaurin into your lineup.
Yeah, it's tricky.
Technically in my rankings, I believe it's Ridley and Terry the highest of this group, but I have Kirk higher than Ridley right now. Or sorry, I have Kirk the highest, and then I have Ridley the second highest. So you could go Kirk and McLaurin, but technically the Jags are my 2 highest ranked players.
Yeah, that's tricky between Metcalf and Ridley for me, to be honest, because you got the matchup implications of Metcalf going up against that stout defense.
Obviously, I have Metcalf 4th of this group because he's playing the Cleveland Browns.
Fair. Yeah, I don't mind doing that then.
But I think I'm going to 2 Jags, probably.
Yeah.
If you want to maybe spread out your exposure a little bit, and you want to go McLaurin and Kirk or something like that, that's fine. But I'm going 2 Jags there, unless you're scared of the weather.
Sorry, apologies for looking to the right, by the way. I'm just making sure my lineups are set.
Yeah, I already set mine this morning, so I'm good, I think.
No, I just want to make sure the last second.
Yeah, the last second inactives. Casey says 14-team PPR. Still have Addison, Dolphins running backs, Bijan, Andrews, Josh Allen. How did I do? So he trades away Christian Kirk, Drake London, Nico Collins, DJ Moore, Tyler Algier, and Jalen Warren. Geez, massive trade. Receives Adams, Ridley, Higgins, Gainwell. So Ridley over Kirk for me rest of the season, as much as that's like a bit of a hot take. Adams probably equivalent to both London and DJ Moore combined, realistically. Yeah. And then Higgins versus Collins is I prefer Higgins. Yeah. And then Gainwell and Algier, it's whatever. So I like your side. You consolidate down and get a stud like Devontae Adams, get a little bit better with Ridley and Higgins there as well.
Yep, like the move. Not caught up for now. Thoughts on Kincaid rest of the season? I think he's pretty clearly a top 10 tight end. He's probably in that 7 to 10 tier. Really, just
who would you rather have rest of the season? Dallas Goedert or Dalton Kincaid?
Goedert.
Who would you rather have rest of the season? Kyle Pitts or Dalton Kincaid?
Pitts.
I would rather have Dalton Kincaid than both of them, I think. Maybe that's an overreaction, but I like what I've seen so far, and I think that Dalton Kincaid has solidified himself as a top 8. That makes him a top 6 tight end, probably, what I just said.
Now, if Dawson Knox was going to be out for the entire year with the wrist, I would have no problem doing that. The fact that he's supposed to come back in 3 weeks kind of leans me on the safer side of the projection. But again, it's very close.
If Dawson Knox is out for 3 games and Dalton Kincaid takes the job and run with it, he ain't ever giving it back, in my opinion.
Maybe not giving it back, but more so just he may not be the full rope.
I saw some really cool film breakdowns from some Buffalo Bills guys, and they were like, this guy looks so crazy nuanced for a rookie. It makes sense. He was an older prospect and stuff, but he was doing shit that like veteran tight ends do. The touchdown to Gabe Davis, he like drew a defender closer to the goal line so that Gabe Davis would open up on the backside in route that he was running. And there was another play where Stephon Diggs was running like a rub route, and Kincaid blocked the guy perfectly without pass interfering. And like he was doing some advanced shit that a lot of these Buffalo Bills guys were really excited about. So I'm tending to think that Dalton Kincaid is just going to be really good down the stretch. And also, we got report that Chuba Hubbard's going to get the bulk of the work today. So Hubbard probably moves up to like a top 24 guy for me this week.
I agree. Pickles, appreciate that. He says, I have Josh Downs and Pittman. Do I start both or sit one? Who sits if so? I don't mind starting both, but if you're going to start one or the other, my preference would be still Michael Pittman.
Yeah, I think so. I'm probably still rolling with Pittman. I think it's a squeaky wheel game here.
In terms of do I start both, sit one, it really just depends what your other options are. Like if you're stacked and you can only start one of these guys, like I would go Pittman, but realistically, like they're both. I mean, Pittman's more of a top 30 option. Downs like a top 35, 38-ish level option. He's in that like mega tier, like I was kind of mentioning before, where like literally you could put 15 guys in.
Yeah, there's so many guys in that Josh Downs area. Like Gabe Davis would have been in there. You know, Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett, Rashee Rice, like those type of guys are in that range. DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah. Like I prefer like Downs of that group, but like he is in that tier with those players. And Palmer would be in that tier if he was healthy as well, and Sutton and those type of guys.
Yep. I agree. So Eagles or Browns for defense? Thanks. I'm just not sitting the Browns defense.
Yeah, no, the Browns defense is an every week starter, to be honest.
Yep.
It's the only one in the league, probably.
Facts. Johnny, appreciate the super chat as well. He says pick 2, Pittman, Ayuk, Higgins, have Hill also.
Jeez, loaded receiver core. Ayuk never leaves your lineup, in my opinion. So Ayuk is in Pittman. There. Yeah, I think I would sit Pittman as well, but that's really close. Pittman and Higgins, I think, are like 2 spots apart in my rankings.
They're literally, for what it's worth, technically speaking, I had Pittman 1 spot higher in my rankings. They're back to back for me, but the more I think about it, it's like I'm still dinging Higgins because he hasn't played well, but at the same time, like if he gets back to the level he was at, he's just gonna lap Pittman, to be honest.
Well, yeah, and I think we're gonna get a very definitive answer on the Bengals offense. Are they still lost after this game, or are they back? Like, I think we're going to get a very definitive answer today because they're playing a really good team, right? And I think they play Buffalo next week. So we're getting Joe Burrow in his element. Like, we want to see Joe Burrow against high-level competition because that's when he plays at his best.
Yeah. Zach, appreciate that. He says bench 2, Palmer, Javonte, Ayuk, or Chuba. I mean, it's going to be Palmer for sure on your bench. You going Chuba over Javonte now with the news?
I'm going... I have them literally back to back now in my rankings, but I would still
who do you have higher?
Javonte, I think.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, that's I'd probably go Javonte, but that's really close.
That is really close.
Really, like I'm that's a good point. Back to back, I think that's where I'd have them as well. But yeah, we're all caught up for now. You can get on to the last couple of comments.
Yeah, all the way back at 11:43 a.m. here. My current bench is Judy, Christian Watson. Okay, so he says, need to drop one for a kicker. I dropped my kicker to pick up Spears initially. That's why I don't have one now. So the guy that I'm dropping here, pretty tough decision, man. Holy shit. These guys are all really good stashes. I would say that we got word that Henry is not going to get traded, so I think I would drop Spears.
Yeah. No, hey, that's fair. I like that.
Probably what I'm rolling with there.
Couldn't get a trade going.
Morning, guys. Should I start Tyrod or Geno Smith? Ooh, this is a brutal decision. Probably Geno Smith, but he's playing the Browns. Do you have any better? Like, I would rather start Sam Howell over both of these guys.
Yeah, agreed.
Tim says, morning, fellas. Half PPR need a flex. Would you play Aaron Jones or Deontay Johnson? I'm playing Aaron Jones, knowing that he's not carrying an injury designation.
Yeah, I will say it does feel kind of gross knowing like how they kind of handled his injury, but I think I agree. It has to be Aaron Jones.
Yeah, I think I saw another super coming if you want to just check that. Ryan says Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, Jordan Addison, and Drake London start 3. Wow, that is a crazy decision. I'm sitting Drake London, but I don't want to.
Yep.
Fuck. Yeah.
I love how I just said early in the stream, yeah, if you have Drake London, you're not sitting him.
I mean, if you have Jalen Waddle, Nico Collins, and Jordan Addison, imagine like hearing this conversation at the beginning of the year, though, that we're like, Drake London's like a top 24 receiver for us rest of the season. We're like, yeah, you can't sit Nico Collins or Jordan Addison. Like, I mean, Jordan Addison probably shouldn't have just, surprised us too much, but Nico Collins being as good as he's been is pretty crazy.
For sure. I got a couple super share. One, first one from Sola, super sticker, and then I'll follow up with the super chat. Thank you. I can't even speak right now. Holy Christ. Half PPR need a flex. Ridley, Rice, Foreman, or Freeman. It's just gonna be Calvin Ridley. I'm assuming you agree.
Yeah, I'm going with Ridley. We got Tyler Lockett will play in week 8, but will be a game time decision. Oof.
What does that even mean? He's gonna play, but he's a game time.
So let me ask you this question here. I have Tyler Lockett in my home or in our listener league right now as my third wide receiver.
Appreciate it, by the way, Carlos.
What's up?
No, I just said appreciate it, by the way, Carlos.
Oh yeah, appreciate you, Carlos. I'm already up 57-28 because I had Josh Allen and Gabe Davis play on Thursday night. Right now, I have Tyler Lockett in. And do I have a pivot option? I do. Never mind. I was going to say, would you play Tyler Lockett and just like, assuming he's a game time decision, or would you just swap in Cortland Sutton now?
What's the other alternative to Lockett? If you wait on Lockett,
Sutton. He would be my decision regardless.
So just.
But would you just play Sutton regardless? Like, would you just play him, or is
Lockett? If Lockett, they're close enough.
Honestly, I think I would just play Sutton regardless.
KC snow game. I'd go Lockett if he's available.
Yeah, but he's gonna be a game time decision, which means he's probably not gonna be healthy.
But him, like the game environment's so bad for Sutton this week.
I know.
Bad. Like, I don't know, man.
I'm taking Sutton. I don't give a shit.
You answered your question then.
Yeah, I'm taking Sutton. Anyways, it is 12:58. Do we have any more supers that came in the wire here? We got Darrell Henderson or Jalen Warren here from
Warren
from Spatty K. I think I'm taking Henderson slightly. Just give me the workload there.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we're saying that, but at the same time, Royce Freeman could very well just lead them in touches, and I wouldn't.
Oh, he could, but I think I'll take the workload that Henderson showcased last week. So, again, it's 12:58 right now. Any last minute questions? Feel free to get them in under the wire.
Warren versus Hendo, full PPR.
Ugh, that's a gross one. Trying to see if there's anything like last second that anybody's talking about. Yeah, I mean, Henderson's outside my top 30 or top 29 running backs right now. He's at 30 right now, so I'm not really super excited about him. I see a lot of Jalen Waddle questions. Jalen Waddle could start this week. He's a top 15 running wide receiver for me.
For what it's worth, Bush, I have Darrell Henderson higher, so I would go with Darrell Henderson, but I also don't mind just doing Jalen Moore versus Henderson just for the shits because we don't have many bets.
All right, let's do it.
For the record,
I'm slacking on the amount of bets that we've done each week, and we had 3 a week or something like that. We got like 6 now this week, so that's good.
Yeah, I mean, trying to have some fun. I would go Henderson. I would Spatty, but let's have some fun.
Yeah, last minute double check, make sure I'm not screwing myself here.
And I need to get a Gatorade right after we stream this because
guy's low on the electrolytes, fellas.
I'm dead right now.
We got two under the wire here. We got Waddle or Henderson. Give me Jalen Waddle there, Atomic Juice.
Waddle for sure, all day. Kamara, Bijan, Walker, Waddle, Addison, Nico Olave.
Okay, well, Bijan would have been my answer for this one. Hopefully you got that in under the wire, but Kamara would have been really close. I think you actually would have gone with Kamara.
I would have gone
wide receiver. Waddle, Addison, Nico Olave. I would have gone with Waddle there, but Waddle and Addison are literally back to back in my rankings, and Olave's right behind them.
I have Olave higher than all of them.
Yeah, I don't like Derek Carr. He sucks. Anyways, it is 1 p.m. Enjoy the games, fellas, and good luck to you. Hopefully no major injuries to report. We will have a majorly weird week this coming week because I'm going to be in Mexico. So our Monday live stream probably not going to happen because I'm going to be flying in at that time. If Danny, I don't know if you want to do like a solo vid. We'll talk about this behind the scenes or whatever. Wednesday, I'm going to do trade targets from my resort in Mexico, so that'll be kind of cool, and then we'll mix in some other stuff. I will say for sure I think matchups that matter won't be going on this week. I'll be sure to maybe do a Twitter thread of that information instead, and you guys get all that stuff.
And I'll be handling the running back and the wide receiver rankings tier list this week if you guys are wondering.
Right, yeah, because I won't be back until Saturday evening, but I'll be back for next Sunday's live stream, no problem. And maybe we'll go a little longer on that one just because maybe not as much information throughout the week. Maybe we'll start that at like 11:30 or 11.
And maybe I'm just not going to be hungover.
Yeah, facts. That might also help. But anyways, appreciate you guys for joining us. Good luck today. GG's.
Take care.